Jim Jim. The ground round our little camp was hard and rocky, and we could not hit off any spoor of the lioness, though just outside the skerm was a drop or two of blood. About 300 yards from the camp, and a little to the right, was a patch of sugar bush, mixed up with the usual mimosa, and for this I made, thinking that the lioness would have been sure to take her prey there to devour it. On we pushed through the long grass that was bent down beneath the weight of the soaking dew. In 2 minutes we were wet through up to the thighs, as wet as though we had waded through water. In due course, however, we reached the patch of bush, and by the grey light of the morning cautiously and slowly pushed our way into it. It was very dark under the trees, for the sun was not yet up, so we walked with the most extreme care, half expecting every minute to come across the lioness licking the bones of poor Jim Jim. But no lioness could we see, and as for Jim Jim, there was not even a finger joint of him to be found. Evidently they had not come here. So pushing through the bush we proceeded to hunt every other likely spot, but with the same result. "I suppose she must have taken him right away," I said at last, sadly enough. "At any rate he will be dead by now, so God have mercy on him. We can't help him. What's to be done now?" "I suppose that we had better wash ourselves in the pool and then go back and get something to eat. I'm filthy," said Harry. This was a practical if a somewhat unfeeling suggestion. At least it struck me as unfeeling to talk of washing when poor Jim Jim had been so recently eaten. However, I did not let my sentiment carry me away, so we went down to the beautiful spot that I have described, to wash. I was the first to reach it, which I did by scrambling down the ferny bank. Then I turned round and started back with a yell, as well I might, for almost from beneath my feet there came the most awful snarl. I had lit nearly upon the back of the lioness, that had been sleeping on the slab where we always stood to dry ourselves after bathing. With a snarl and a growl, before I could do anything, before I could even cock my rifle, she had bounded right across the crystal pool, and vanished over the opposite bank. It was all done in an instant, as quick as thought. She had been sleeping on the slab, and, oh horror, what was that sleeping beside her? It was the red remains of poor Jim Jim, lying on a patch of blood-stained rock. "Oh, father, father!" shrieked Harry, "look in the water!" I looked. There, floating in the centre of the lovely tranquil pool, was Jim Jim's head. The lioness had bitten it right off, and it had rolled down the sloping rock into the water. End of the chapter 2. What was found in the pool.